Hello, welcome to yet another oil painting vlog, and today I can show you the process of this lemon painting I did in a couple of layers. But besides from that, I want to show you something very interesting and special, that being we made a huge H-frame easel from scratch. Enjoy the clips I put together of it. Some parts look really satisfying, and although I'm not the big woodworker here, my husband suggested we can tackle this project together since he's capable of navigating through such a project and has the tools you need. I was thinking about getting an easel for a while. It's just a natural step if you want to continue painting and maybe scale up the sizes eventually. It's just a great support for your workflow, but the options online and in stores are either affordable but from China or really expensive depending on what you're looking for. And this type of easel we made is a big heavy H-frame easel with a taboret and a counterweight system. So yeah, that would have been quite the expense if you bought that from somewhere. I think overall, not counting the tools you need, we spent around $500 making this, which is really good considering easels with this quality can cost you around a few $1,000 very quickly. If you're curious, we used red oak, which turned out to be absolutely lovely. I'm very happy with that choice. And like I said before, I'm not the big woodworker here, my husband is, so I did my best and tried to help whenever I could. I think overall this easel took us around 1 to 1.5 months to make. Of course, not being able to work on it every day, but it was quite some work, I have to say. There were a lot of fiddly parts and a few where we had to improvise a bit to make it work. In theory, preparing all the parts and understanding how everything works is simple, but, and I'm sure any of you woodworkers out there know, a project is never that simple and straightforward, so we had to learn a lot during this process. I have a lot of respect for woodworking, especially the huge stamina you have to finish projects and not taking sloppy shortcuts. While my husband finished cutting and putting together the last pieces, I took up the task of sanding everything, and that alone took such a long time. It just felt like I will never be able to stop sanding again. I used 3 different levels of grits, and the patience I had to have was just out of this world. For someone like me who is not big into woodworking, I was just so relieved once I was done and looking forward to the last step. We stained the red oak with this charcoal color and it looks absolutely stunning with the wood pattern, I have to say. I'll show you the finished result in more detail at the end of the video once the painting is done. I will now walk you through this process. I already have my line art transferred with oils, and the first step is to tone the canvas with burnt sienna. I use a generous amount of odorless mineral spirits. To describe it best, I'd say I soak my brush in the solvent and then mix up some paint. As you can see, applying this mixture, it is very runny and thin, and that is exactly what I want. I really like the orange tone the burnt sienna has. I know a lot of artists also like to use burnt umber, just a preference, and both are earthy tones which dry relatively quick. As you can see, the application is very streaky and uneven, but it doesn't matter because I will rub it into the canvas with a shop towel to spread it out evenly. I think I'll let that layer dry for a day before I return to to tackle the underpainting with raw umber. This step is just to map in the shadows. I have to say this indirect way of painting is a lot of fun for me, way more fun than alla prima, which is just so overwhelming and difficult. This process allows you to take lots of breaks in between too and work on other projects. Oh, and by the way, in this step I used again some solvent to dilute the paint and have a nice thin quick drying layer. I'm not too concerned with any details at this point, just the overall shadow areas. I like to blend the pigments using these dry brushes. If you're interested in the materials I'm using, all is linked in the description. Once I let this layer dry for yet another day, it's time for the grisaille, or the dead underlayer. And for this I mix titanium white, ivory black, and a bit of burnt umber to create warmer tones instead of cool ones. So I like to pre-mix a few values with my palette knife, and when I'm going in with my brushes, I use a little bit of painting medium to make the paint more flexible to work with. Then I basically paint the whole thing in black and white. I will upload more videos about this technique in the future. This lemon is only the second time I used this approach, but this is definitely going in the right direction for me. It's a lot of fun to explore more traditional techniques of the old masters. Now, this dead underpainting layer has to dry for a longer time. It is suggested at least a week, if not longer. And now we're reaching the first color layer. The idea is you have the whole image basically already painted in black and white, and now you're glazing colors over it. I'm still trying to figure out what the best way is here. It's a delicate balance of how much medium you use and how much pigment, since you don't want the paint to be too opaque and cover up all the work you already did. I was very happy with the grisaille because of that warm burnt sienna shining through, but the first color layer was a bit too opaque in my opinion, and I covered up too much of the work I already did. This color layer has to again dry for at least a week or longer. Once the paint dried, the colors might seem a little dull, but oiling out and varnishing in the end will bring back that saturation. For the last layer, I just wanted to dry and improve some areas like the highlights, color shifting, and texture details in the lemon. And here's the finished result of the lemon painting as well as the easel. With the oil painting process, I'd say I call it a success if I learned a lot, and I did. The easel looks phenomenal and I can't wait to paint on it in the future. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments and I'll see you next time.